Hey everyone, welcome to the channel where today Going Native will be taking a look at the Lord & Taylor case and its implications on native advertising going forward. Lord & Taylor is a prominent fashion retailer and started in 1826 and is owned by the Hudson Bay Company. According to Lord & Taylor, they create a unique mix of the latest trends and timeless fashions and has been considered a fashion trailblazer. However, 2015 brought to light how delicate trailblazing through native advertising can be for any organization. So in late 2014, Lord & Taylor created the Design Lab campaign, but that campaign did not get implemented until 2015. And in March 2015, Lord & Taylor implemented the campaign through two primary outlets. First, Lord & Taylor paid Nylon to run an article featuring their Design Lab Paisley asymmetrical dress. Nylon also made an Instagram post about the dress. Second, and perhaps most famously, Lord & Taylor paid 50 Instagram stars between $1,000 and $4,000 to wear the dress and post about them wearing the dress, really just a picture of them in the dress, that same day. The Instagram stars were to tag Lord & Taylor and use the hashtag DesignLab. The campaign reached 11.4 million Instagram users and led to 328,000 brand engagements. Additionally, the dress sold out. So the problem here is neither Nylon nor the Instagram stars were required to disclose that their posts had been sponsored by Lord & Taylor. This led to speculation regarding whether or not the stars' endorsement was genuine or simply a result of Lord & Taylor sponsoring their content. Ultimately, the United States Federal Trade Commission got involved and found that Lord & Taylor's advertisement was in violation of Section 5A, given its deceptive nature and failure to disclose the commercial connection between Nylon and the Instagram stars' relationship with Lord & Taylor. Lord & Taylor ultimately took immediate action once they were made aware of the deceptive nature of their advertisement, but that didn't stop the FTC from approving a consent order prohibiting Lord & Taylor from misrepresenting that paid advertisements are from an independent source. The company also had to launch an internal monitoring program, and if Lord & Taylor has an additional violation, that could lead to a $16,000 fine. So in the big picture of native advertising, why is this a big deal? So with social media already becoming a dominant force in advertising and native advertising spending already topping $21 billion, at least that's what projections are showing in the United States for 2018, there's no denying that native advertising will continue to grow. With the growth of the practice comes an increased risk of deception through native advertising that could ultimately harm the native advertising industry as a whole. Two major questions arise from the Lord & Taylor case. The first being, what could Lord & Taylor have done to ensure the advertisement was ethical? Second, what can consumers and practitioners do going forward to ensure that native advertisements are not deceptive? So for the Lord & Taylor case, disclosing the advertisements were paid for would have ended any speculation that Lord & Taylor were acting deceptively. Disclosing could include saying advertised by, sponsored by Lord & Taylor, having words in the description that specifically said that the users were paid by Lord & Taylor. There needed to be language that said that the Instagram stars had been paid by Lord & Taylor. However, to do this, both Nylon and each Instagram star would have needed to make it clear through their words that the content was paid for. See, studies have found that 50% of consumers are not sure what sponsored means when featured in a native advertisement. So just saying hashtag sponsored is not enough. It needs to be clear that the users were paid or sponsored by a specific company. So it needs to say sponsored by Lord & Taylor if you're going to use sponsored, but that's probably not the best wordage to use. It's probably better to use advertisement or specifically said that you were paid. Therefore, Lord & Taylor needed to be clear through each medium that the native advertisement was indeed an advertisement and not a result of just 50 Instagram stars happening to wear the same dress on the same day. So now moving on to what consumers and practitioners can do to ensure native advertising is not deceptive. First, practitioners need to be aware that when consumers are apprehensive of being taken advantage of, they become more critical and less trusting. You can see that in the persuasion knowledge model. In Lord & Taylor's case, consumers would see the dress in a less positive light because they are no longer able to believe the endorsement of the Instagram stars is genuine. Moreover, both parties need to be aware that studies of the persuasive nature of advertising found that only 1 in 10 consumers can recognize a native advertisement. Consumers need to be aware of this and understand that native advertising is a growing industry. Although consumers cannot automatically assume any endorsement is native advertisement, the consumer should try to find areas where information regarding sponsored content might be mentioned by simply maybe checking the description, looking for brands or logo images around some sort of content that might seem like it is a native advertisement. Additionally, practitioners should use Sherry Baker and David Martinson's TARES test when practicing native advertising. The T stands for transparency and truthfulness of the advertising, A, authenticity of the persuader, R, respect for the persuaded, and E, equity of the appeal. In Lord & Taylor's case, they didn't do a good job considering the T of transparency and truthfulness of the advertising. Going forward with native advertising, they need to be more transparent that the content is paid for. Also, they should make sure they consider respecting the persuaded, in this case the consumers, because the consumers are going to have a tough time trusting the brand that has been shown to be deceptive. Lord & Taylor is one of many cases surrounding native advertising. As the practice continues to grow, both consumers and practitioners have to do more to stay educated and ethically pursue a mutually beneficial relationship. For more information regarding native advertising, including educational materials for practitioners and consumers, visit the link in our description. Thanks for listening, and remember to subscribe.